So, why is organic search different from pay-per-click, and why is organic search, in my opinion, so much more important? There's a bunch of reasons. First off, let me just explain sort of what this is. This is an image of Google search results using something called an eye tracking heat map. And this heat map shows what they do is they have a bunch of people do Google searches, and then they track on the page where people look with their eyes and also where they click. And the areas that are dark red, they have more activity. Areas that are yellow or green sort of have a medium amount of activity. Areas that are blue have a small amount of activity. And the rest of the page that's sort of in a grayed out color, that's a very low amount of activity. So what you can see here is most of the activity is up there in sort of what they call the Google Golden Triangle. It's that top left portion of the page where most of the activity is concentrated. Now I'm going to overlay onto this where those pay-per-click ads are. And you'll notice they get noticed somewhat by people's eyes, but not that much. And the data that we've done through our own research and looking at research from a number of other places as well, is that only roughly 25% of people that click on the search results are clicking on the pay-per-click ads. So naturally you'd say, well, where's all that other 75% of clicking going on? Well, it's happening in those organic results right in the middle of the page where all of that eye tracking activity is happening. And this is because a lot of people really ignore those ads. So overall, the benefits for organic search are very, very high. So one, it's free, so you're not paying that per-click tax to Google to every time somebody clicks on your results. So certainly there's some SEO work that you need to do to get into those organic results, but you're not paying a tax to Google every time someone clicks. So that's great. The second thing is, just as we just talked about, it's more traffic to those organic results. So 75% of the click volume goes to the organic. So you really want to get into those organic results because you want to get into sort of a bigger part of the game. Finally, other data suggests that people that have a higher level of education tend to click on the organic results more often and tend to ignore the ads. So, for instance, people that have a PhD, so a very high level of education, tend to click on the paid ads only about 1 or 2% of the time. Down through people without a college education tend to click on the ads more like 30, 40, or 50% of the time. So if you're selling to a more sophisticated consumer that tends to have a higher level of education, so you're selling to someone technical or someone professional, things like that, the organic results are actually even more important for you. And then the organic results are also much longer lasting. So once you get into those organic results, they tend to last a fair amount of time, as long as you sort of do a little bit of sort of SEO upkeep, which we'll talk about as well during this presentation. But unlike the pay-per-click, where the second you stop paying that tax to Google, your listing goes away and gets replaced by typically your competitors' listings. All right, so let's talk about the click volume you can expect by position. So if you're the first pay-per-click ad, you get about 7%, and then it kind of declines from there. So you can only have one pay-per-click ad as well, so most of the search engines limit you to just one. So really, any individual single ad, at most you can get 7% of the click volume on that traffic. Very interesting. Now when you contrast that with your organic results, again, you've got a much larger audience here. And if you're in the first position, you're going to typically see about 25% of the people that are doing a search for that term clicking on your link. But what's interesting about the organic side is you can actually have multiple listings. So Google's just trying to present the best possible results. So certain search terms, if you search for them, for instance, like the phrase inbound marketing, Hubspot tends to have actually 2 or 3 listings on that first page. So you can start to sort of add these numbers up and realize that if you do a really good job on the organic side, you can actually get a much, much higher volume of traffic than you could ever get with